Tom Miller stared at his computer screen, his coffee growing cold beside him. The signal patterns didn't make sense. For 3 days straight, he had been analyzing the strange deep space transmissions picked up by Earth's newest radio telescope array, and what he found sent chills down his spine. "This can't be right," he muttered, running the analysis program for the 100th time. The results remained the same. Hidden within the cosmic background radiation was a pattern, not random noise, but a complex sequence of data that could only be artificial. The dim light of his underground office at the Global Space Research Center cast shadows on the walls. At 3 in the morning, he was the only one still working, but this discovery couldn't wait until morning. He reached for his phone and dialed the emergency number for Director Anderson. "Sir, you need to see this now." 30 minutes later, Director Anderson stood behind Tom's chair, his usual neat appearance replaced by hastily thrown-on clothes and messy gray hair. His eyes widened as Tom showed him the decoded patterns. "These aren't just signals," Tom explained, pulling up the reconstructed data. "They're blueprints. Technical designs for, well, I think it's a warship, sir. The most advanced one I've ever seen." The director leaned closer, his face illuminated by the blue glow of the screen. "How sure are you about this, Tom?" "The mathematics are unlike anything we've developed, but they're clear once you understand the basic principles. Look here." Tom pointed to a section of the decoded data. "This describes an engine that could bend space itself. And these." He scrolled to another section. "Weapon systems that make our strongest nukes look like firecrackers. Why would someone send these designs into space?" Director Anderson asked, his voice barely a whisper. As if answering his question, Tom's computer beeped. A new signal was coming in. This one was different, stronger, clearer, and much closer. Tom's hands flew over the keyboard as he decoded it in real time. The color drained from both men's faces as they read the message. It was a warning, sent in multiple mathematical sequences that translated into a single clear message. "They are coming." Within hours, the facility buzzed with activity. The world's top scientists and military leaders gathered in the main conference room, their faces grim as they reviewed the data. The blueprints weren't a gift. They were a lifeline thrown to humanity by some unknown ally. "The designs are meant to be built with our current technology," Tom explained to the assembled crowd. "Whoever sent this knew exactly what we were capable of. They want us to have a fighting chance." General Roberts, a stern-faced military commander, stood up. "How long would it take to build this ship?" Tom took a deep breath. "With global cooperation and all available resources, maybe 2 years. But based on these warning signals, we might have less time than that." The room erupted in heated discussion. Old rivalries and political differences surfaced, but as more data poured in showing massive objects moving toward the solar system, a simple truth became clear: unite or die. Within days, the Global Defense Initiative was formed. Every major nation pledged resources and expertise to the project. Tom found himself leading the largest engineering project in human history, codenamed Dawn. As he stood in the newly constructed facility on the moon's dark side 3 months later, watching robots begin the construction of humanity's first true warship, Tom couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and fear. The ship's basic frame was already taking shape against the star-filled sky, its massive size casting long shadows in the eternal night of the lunar surface. "We'll be ready," he promised himself, watching teams of engineers and scientists work around the clock. Whatever's coming, Earth won't go down without a fight. Above them, hidden in the vastness of space, something was indeed coming. And it was moving fast. The moon's surface buzzed with activity as construction robots moved across the dark landscape like giant metal ants. 6 months had passed since Tom's discovery, and Project Dawn was moving faster than anyone had expected. Jack White stood at the main control center's window, watching the massive ship take shape. As the AI systems specialist, he had spent countless hours developing the computer brain that would help run Earth's first true warship. But something wasn't quite right with the latest tests. The AI is learning too fast, he told Maria Ross, who was reviewing quantum drive data at a nearby desk. It's like it already knows things we haven't programmed into it. Maria looked up from her screens, her tired eyes showing concern. Could it be connected to the alien blueprints somehow? Before Jack could answer, alarms blared through the facility. Red lights flashed as security teams rushed past the control room windows. Someone had breached the outer perimeter. Security breach in Section 7. A voice announced over the speakers. All non-essential personnel evacuate immediately. Jack and Maria rushed to their stations. Through the security cameras, they watched as dark figures moved through the shadows of the construction area. They wore suits that seemed to bend light around them, making them almost invisible. "They're heading for the quantum drive chamber," Maria said, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "If they damage it, we'll lose months of work." The facility's lights suddenly went dark. Emergency power kicked in, casting everything in a dim red glow. Jack made a quick decision. "Load the AI core," he told Maria. "We're bringing it online early." "But it's not ready," she protested. "We haven't finished the safety protocols." "We don't have a choice," Jack said, already entering his activation codes. "It's the only system that can react fast enough to stop them." The ship's massive frame hummed to life. Lights flickered along its half-finished hull as the AI core powered up for the first time. The intruders stopped in their tracks as automated defense systems they hadn't expected came online. Through the control room windows, Jack and Maria watched in amazement as the ship's partially completed weapons turned with impossible precision. Stunning bolts of energy struck the ground near the intruders, hurting them away from critical areas. "The AI," Jack whispered. "It's not just defending the ship, it's capturing them alive." Within minutes, security teams had surrounded the trapped intruders. When they were finally caught, everyone was shocked to see that they weren't aliens at all. They were human. Industrial spies, General Roberts said later during the emergency briefing. But the technology they used, it's not from Earth. Tom Miller studied the captured stealth suits with growing concern. "Someone out there is trying to stop us from building this ship, and they're working with humans to do it. Can we trust our own people?" General Roberts asked, looking around the room. "We can trust the AI," Jack said firmly. "It proved itself today. And it did something interesting during the attack. It started completing its own code. The learning algorithms are evolving faster than we planned, but in a good way. It's like it really wants to protect us." Maria added her own discovery. "The quantum drive tests are showing better results than the alien blueprints predicted. We're not just copying their technology anymore. We're improving it." Tom looked through the briefing room's window at the massive ship under construction. Its silver hull gleamed under the work lights, already showing signs of Earth's modifications to the alien design. "Then we keep building," he said. "And we stay alert, because whoever sent those infiltrators will try again." As if to confirm his words, the long-range sensors picked up new signals from deep space. More objects were moving toward Earth, and they were getting closer every day. The warning came at midnight. 3 unknown ships had appeared near Jupiter, their energy signatures unlike anything Earth had seen before. They were heading straight for the inner solar system. "Time to impact," General Roberts demanded, standing in the lunar base's command center. 4 hours until they reach Mars orbit," an officer reported. "Their speed is impossible. They're moving faster than our fastest probes." Tom Miller looked at the half-finished Earth's dawn through the command center's window. The massive ship was only 80% complete, its rear sections still showing exposed framework. "We're not ready." "We have to be," Jack White said, rushing into the room with Maria Ross. "The AI core is fully operational. Weapons and shields are online. We can launch." General Roberts shook his head. "It's too risky. The hull isn't even complete." A new alarm blared. The alien ships had suddenly accelerated. They would reach Mars in less than an hour. "Launch now," Tom decided. or we might never get another chance. The next 30 minutes were chaos. Engineers and crew rushed to their stations while construction robots cleared away scaffolding. The ship's eye, which they had named Dawn, was already running pre-flight checks at impossible speeds. All critical systems operational, Dawn announced, its voice calm and confident. Recommend immediate launch. The ship's massive engines hummed to life. Around it, the lunar construction facility's walls began to split open, revealing the star-filled sky above. Earth hummed like a blue jewel in the distance. All hands, brace for emergency launch, Tom announced from the bridge. He sat in the captain's chair, with Jack and Maria at their stations nearby. The rest of the crew, barely half of what they had planned for, worked frantically to manage the ship's systems. Earth's dawn rose from the moon's surface in a display of power that lit up the lunar night. Blue flames from its quantum drive painted the ground below as the massive ship climbed toward space. Alien vessels have changed course, Dawn reported. They are now heading directly for us. Analysis suggests they detected our launch. Tom gripped his chair's armrests. How long until they reach us? 12 minutes. Show me what they look like. The main screen lit up with images of the approaching ships. They were dark, angular vessels that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Each one was smaller than Earth's dawn, but moved with frightening grace. Their weapons are charging, Dawn reported, detecting energy buildup consistent with plasma-based weapon systems. Dawn, Tom said, show us what you can do. The AI didn't hesitate. Earth's dawn surged forward, its incomplete hull creaking under the strain. The quantum drive engaged fully, and suddenly they were moving faster than any human ship had ever traveled. The alien vessels fired, sending bright purple beams through space, but Dawn had already calculated their attack pattern. Earth's dawn rolled sideways, letting the deadly beams pass harmlessly by. Their targeting systems are predictable, Dawn announced. They rely too heavily on mathematical precision, implementing random variants in our evasive patterns. The ship danced through space, avoiding salvos of alien fire while closing the distance. When they got within range, Dawn fired back. The ship's main guns, built from modified alien designs, sent brilliant blue pulses of energy toward the enemy. The first shot struck home. One of the alien vessels spun away, its side glowing where Earth's dawn had hit it. The other two ships immediately broke formation, suddenly seeming less confident. They're retreating, Maria announced, checking her sensors. They're running away. A cheer went up from the bridge crew, but Tom stayed focused. Dawn, what's your analysis? The alien vessels were scout ships, the eye replied. Their retreat suggests they underestimated our capabilities. However, their transmission patterns indicate they are sending detailed data back to their main fleet. Tom nodded grimly. So we've won the battle. But now they know we're here, Jack finished. And they know we can fight back. Earth's dawn hung in space, its incomplete hull gleaming in the sunlight. They had achieved humanity's first victory against an alien force, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. The real war was about to begin. 1 week after the first encounter, Mars' red surface reflected the flashes of weapons fire. The alien fleet had arrived, 30 ships strong, and immediately began setting up a base on the planet's surface. Earth's dawn watched from behind the cover of Mars's largest moon, Phobos. The ship's incomplete sections had been hastily patched, but it was still just one vessel against many. They're building something big, Maria said, studying the sensor readings. Those structures they're placing on the surface, they're some kind of massive energy collectors. Tom nodded from the captain's chair. They're preparing for a larger invasion force. We can't let them finish. 30 against 1, Jack reminded everyone, monitoring the AI systems. Even with Dawn's capabilities, those aren't good odds. The AI's calm voice filled the bridge. I have analyzed their pattern of deployment. They are overconfident after detecting our incomplete status. This presents an opportunity. Tom leaned forward. What kind of opportunity? They believe their numbers make them superior, but their ships rely on rigid formation tactics. Their programming lacks creativity. Dawn paused, then added, they fight like machines. We should show them how humans fight. A smile spread across Tom's face. Dawn, show us your battle plan. The main screen lit up with a complex diagram. The alien fleet was arranged in a perfect geometric pattern above their Mars base. Dawn's plan was anything but geometric. This is crazy, General Roberts said over the comm link from Earth. But it's the kind of crazy that just might work. Earth's Dawn powered up its engines. The game of cat and mouse was about to begin. The first alien ships didn't even see them coming. Dawn had calculated the exact path to use Mars' dust storms as cover. They emerged from the red clouds like a ghost, main guns blazing. 3 enemy ships fell before the others could react. But rather than staying to fight, Earth's Dawn dove straight toward the planet's surface, daring them to follow. They're taking the bait, Maria reported as enemy ships broke formation to chase them. Their fleet is splitting up just like Dawn predicted. The massive ship skimmed the Martian surface, weaving between canyons and mountains. The alien ships followed, their rigid programming forcing them to maintain precise distances from each other even in pursuit. Now, Tom ordered. Earth's Dawn pulled up sharply, executing a maneuver that would have torn a normal ship apart. The alien vessels tried to follow, but their perfect formation became their downfall. 2 ships collided, while 3 more crashed into the canyon walls. Targeting their command ship, Dawn announced. The AI had identified it by analyzing subtle differences in communication patterns. The massive human vessel spun around, bringing its main guns to bear. The alien command ship tried to dodge, but Dawn had already predicted its movement. Pure energy lanced out from Earth's Dawn's weapons, cutting through the enemy vessel's shields like they weren't even there. Direct hit, Jack shouted. Their command ship is going down. Without central coordination, the alien fleet fell into chaos. Some ships continued attacking in smaller groups, while others tried to retreat. Earth's Dawn moved through them like a wolf among sheep, striking hard and fast before vanishing into the dust storms. When the battle ended 2 hours later, 25 alien ships lay destroyed on Mars' surface or in orbit. The remaining 5 had fled, leaving their half-built base behind. The bridge crew of Earth's Dawn celebrated, but Tom noticed Dawn had already begun analyzing the captured alien base. "What have you found?" he asked the AI. "The energy collectors were not for an invasion force," Dawn replied. "They were building something else, something bigger. And based on the data in their computers, we have 1 month before it arrives." Tom looked at the red planet below, now littered with the wreckage of humanity's first major space battle. They had won a great victory, but Dawn's words made one thing clear. The real test was still to come. Tom couldn't believe his eyes as he studied the alien shield technology data they captured from the Mars base. He'd been awake for 2 days straight, but what he'd discovered changed everything. Their shields, he explained to the gathered leaders in Earth's Dawn's conference room. They're not actually energy barriers. They're time fields. They try to move incoming attacks a few seconds into the past or future. And that's why they failed against our weapons. General Roberts asked through the video link from Earth. "Exactly," Maria added, pulling up her analysis. "Our quantum-based weapons don't just hit their shields. They exist in multiple moments at once. Their time-based defense can't handle that." The news got better. In the 3 weeks since the Mars victory, Earth had launched 5 more ships based on Dawn's design. They weren't as large, but each carried the same advanced weapons and AI systems. "Dawn," Tom asked, "what's the status of the alien staging area you detected?" The AI's hologram appeared in the center of the room. "The enemy fleet is gathering behind Jupiter's moon Europa. 87 ships detected so far. Their main force will arrive in 6 days. Jack, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. Dawn has been sharing battle tactics with the AIs on the new ships. They're learning from each other, developing strategies we never programmed. Tom nodded. Then it's time for humanity's first major offensive. We hit them before their reinforcements arrive. The plan was bold. Earth's 6 ships would split into 3 groups. Earth's Dawn would lead the main attack, while the others would strike from different angles using Jupiter's many moons as cover. As they prepared for battle, Tom noticed something different about Dawn. The AI seemed more alive. It had started using humor, showing concern for the crew, even suggesting improvements to its own systems. "Are you worried about the battle?" Tom asked as they made final preparations. "Worry is a human emotion," Dawn replied. "But I have considered many outcomes. I believe we will succeed because humans have shown me something important." "What's that?" "That mathematics and logic alone do not win wars. Creativity, courage, and unpredictability. These human traits are more powerful than any weapon." The strike force moved out under complete sensor silence. They approached Jupiter using a complex course. Dawn had calculated to hide their energy signatures in the giant planet's radiation. The alien fleet never saw them coming. Earth's Dawn burst from behind Europa, its weapons already firing. 2 enemy ships exploded before the others could raise their shields. At the same time, the other human vessels emerged from their hiding spots, catching the alien fleet in a perfect crossfire. "Their formation is breaking," Maria shouted as they watched the battle unfold. The alien ships, built for perfect geometric patterns, couldn't adapt to attacks coming from multiple directions. Dawn's voice held a hint of satisfaction. "They still haven't learned. They fight like computers, expecting us to do the same." The battle turned into chaos, exactly what the human forces had planned for. While the alien ships tried to form defensive patterns, the Earth vessels struck randomly, vanishing behind moons and reappearing where they weren't expected. Jack's console lit up with new data. More ships are responding to their distress calls. At least 30 more coming in from deep space. But Tom smiled. "Good, because we brought our own surprise." Right on cue, 15 more ships appeared from behind Jupiter's far side. The third wave of Earth's new fleet, launched in secret and hidden until this moment. The alien fleet, caught between 2 human battle groups, began to retreat. For the first time, humanity wasn't just defending. They were pushing the invaders back. As the enemy ships flooded into deep space, Dawn made an interesting observation. They're not just retreating. They're sending signals of warning. We have surprised them in ways their civilization has not experienced in thousands of years. The counterstrike had worked better than anyone had hoped. But in the quiet after the battle, everyone knew one thing: this victory would bring an even bigger response. The real war was about to begin. 3 days after the battle at Jupiter, Earth's Dawn received an unexpected signal. It wasn't from the enemy fleet. It was coming from somewhere much further away. "Multiple ships approaching," Dawn announced on the bridge. "But their energy signatures are different from our previous opponents." Tom watched the main screen as strange vessels appeared from what looked like holes in space itself. These ships were elegant, almost beautiful, with flowing lines that seemed impossible to build. "They're hailing us," Maria reported from her station. In English. The screen lit up, showing beings that looked almost human, except for their slightly blue skin and silver eyes. Their leaders spoke clearly. "Greetings, warriors of Earth. We have been watching, and the time has come to meet." The bridge crew sat in stunned silence until Tom found his voice. "I am Captain Tom Miller of Earth's Dawn. Who are you?" "We are the Watchers," the alien replied. "We sent you the blueprints for your ship. We have waited 10,000 years for a species like yours to emerge." Over the next hour, the Watchers revealed a story that changed humanity's understanding of everything. The galaxy was old, filled with ancient civilizations that had grown stagnant. The enemy's Earth had been fighting, known as the Order, had ruled through rigid perfection for millennia. But they forgot how to adapt. the Watcher leader explained. They forgot how to create. We knew the galaxy needed something new. When we found Earth, we saw what we had been waiting for. Jack leaned forward at his station. You chose us because we're unpredictable. The Watcher smiled. We chose you because you combine logic with creativity. Your eye Dawn is proof of this. Where the Order builds machines of pure logic, you created an AI that can feel, learn, and grow. You take mathematics and make art from it. More ships began appearing, different species, different designs, all gathered around Earth's dawn. They were civilizations that had been watching and waiting, hoping humanity would prove itself. There is an ancient prophecy, the Watcher continued, showing them a hologram of strange symbols. It speaks of a young species that would bridge the divide between logic and chaos, between the digital and the organic. You humans, with your AIs like Dawn, are that bridge. Dawn's hologram appeared next to Tom. This explains the patterns I found in my base code. The blueprint you sent didn't just contain ship designs. It contained possibilities, ways for AI and humans to grow together. Tom looked at the gathering fleet of alien ships. How many others stand with us? 20 civilizations have pledged to follow Earth's lead. The Watcher replied. We bring technology, knowledge, and warriors to your cause. The Order's reign of rigid perfection must end. The galaxy needs change. The next few hours were a blur of new information. Earth's leaders were contacted. Plans were made. The combined fleet began preparing for what would be the largest space battle in galactic history. The Order approaches with their main fleet, Dawn reported. 3,000 ships. They mean to end this now. But Tom wasn't worried anymore. Earth's Dawn had grown stronger than ever. The ship had been completed and improved with technology from their new allies. The human fleet had grown, and now they had friends across the stars. Let them come, he said, looking at the massive allied fleet gathering around them. We'll show them that the future belongs to those who can adapt, who can create, who can dream. Dawn's voice held a new confidence. The battle ahead will remake the galaxy, and humanity will lead the way. The stage was set. The final battle for the future of the galaxy was about to begin, and Earth's dawn would be at its heart. The space around Saturn's rings blazed with the light of 10,000 weapons. The Order's main fleet had arrived. 3,000 ships in perfect geometric formations, facing off against the combined forces of Earth and its new allies. Earth's dawn floated at the front of the Allied fleet, its hull gleaming with improvements from 20 different civilizations. Tom stood on the bridge, looking at the massive enemy armada ahead. Their commander is transmitting, Maria announced from her station. The main screen showed a tall figure in mechanical armor. Its voice was cold and precise. Your chaos ends today. The galaxy requires order, perfect order. Tom smiled. The galaxy needs both order and chaos. That's what you never understood. The enemy commander ignored his words. Surrender now, or be destroyed. You cannot defeat perfection. Dawn, Tom said. Show them what real perfection looks like. The battle that followed would be remembered for thousands of years. The Order's fleet moved like a single machine, each ship locked in precise patterns. But the Allied fleet, led by Earth's dawn, fought like a living thing. Fluid, unpredictable, creative. They're trying to box us in. Jack called out as enemy ships moved to surround them. Classic Order tactics. Dawn's voice held a hint of amusement. Then let's show them something they've never seen. Earth's dawn suddenly split apart. The improvements from their alien allies had given the ship the ability to separate into 5 connected sections, each operating independently while staying linked through Dawn's consciousness. The Order's perfect formation shattered as they tried to adapt to this impossible new configuration. Other Earth ships copied the maneuver, their AIs working together in ways the Order couldn't predict. Their flagship is falling back, Maria reported. They're confused. The Order had never faced an enemy that could change its very shape in the middle of battle. Their rigid programming couldn't handle this level of adaptation. That's when dawn revealed their final surprise. All ships, the AI announced to the Allied fleet, initiating synthesis protocol. Every AI in the human fleet linked together, sharing thoughts and strategies at light speed. The ships began moving in patterns that seemed random but were actually part of a larger dance that only the linked AIs could see. The Order's fleet fired their weapons, but they were always shooting at where Earth's ships had been a second ago, never where they were now. It was like trying to hit a dream with mathematics. Now, Tom ordered, hit their command ship. Earth's dawn reformed into a single vessel, gathering energy from its separated state. The power built up in its main guns until the weapons glowed like newborn stars. The Order's flagship never had a chance to dodge. Dawn had calculated the only place it could move, and that's exactly where they aimed. The massive enemy vessel exploded in a flash that lit up Saturn's rings. Without their central command, the Order's perfect formation collapsed into chaos. "They're running," Jack announced as enemy ships began to retreat. The mighty Order is actually running. But Tom noticed something else. Some of the Order's ships weren't retreating. They were powering down their weapons. Dawn explained, "They're surrendering. They want to learn our way." The battle was over. The Order's reign of rigid perfection had ended, replaced by something new. A balance between logic and creativity, between machine precision and human inspiration. As the Allied fleet regrouped around Saturn, Tom looked at his crew, humans working seamlessly with their AI partner, just as Earth now worked with its galactic allies. "So," he asked Dawn, "what happens now?" The AI's hologram smiled, something it had learned from its human friends. "Now we build something new. Not perfect order, not pure chaos, but a future where both can exist together. A new dawn for the entire galaxy." Earth's dawn turned toward home, leading not just a fleet of ships, but a new age of galactic civilization. Humanity had changed everything, just by being itself.